Hello and welcome to Brew Tapcast. I am Tappy for another Pints and Previews video. This is Monarch, the Flesh and Blood Monarch Spoiler Day 12 wrap-up. So we are into Day 12. We saw Prism, the new light illusionist hero, be spoiled yesterday. And now we have a bunch of follow-up cards for the illusionist. So a lot of stuff to get into today. Actually, it's a pretty tight package. A lot of it is going to be a little bit more difficult to identify actually how that you're going to use these or how well they are going to work until we sort of see a little bit about the play of the illusionist, just because it's they're a little bit less predictable, I should say, actually. But in any case, before we get into those, if you're looking for any other spoiler preview wrap-ups or anything like that, down below we have every other day of the 12 days that we have all wrapped up into nice little packages there. So if you're looking for previous ones, go ahead and check that out. Outside of that, let's just jump right into the spoilers. All right, here we are. So Monarch spoilers. So for the Friday the 23rd, this is day 12 of the spoiler season. Here are our spoiler people, as well as the ones for the next day, all the way into Monday of the next week. So that's what we got there. So let's go ahead and drop that up, and let's get into the actual card. So our first card comes from Fabled Hunters. We actually have 3 cards from Fabled Hunters. So this is a set of, and most of the cards today are these ones. So this first one is Ode to Wrath, or Wrath. Sorry, this is not Wrath, this is Wrath. Ode to Wrath. So down at the bottom, we'll just jump right into that. Light Illusionist Instant Aura. So an instant speed aura is what this is. It is at rare. So yellow pitch, 4 cost, and I believe this is the only color of pitch we will see for this card. I don't really know how they could change things outside of that, so I believe this is the only copy or only pitch value of this. So it says, whenever a source you control deals damage to an opposing hero, they lose 1 life. So essentially what it does is adds on a damage to everything that you do if it actually hits. However, it's a little bit better because you can't prevent life loss. As of right now, there are no cards that allow you to say prevent life loss. This is not something that you can defend against. This is not arcane damage. It's just they lose a life. So as of right now, there are no ways to deal with that. So they just lose their life. It also says Illusionist attack action cards you control have go again, which is really quite nice. I mean, a lot of what we've seen so far from these Illusionist cards are the ones with Phantasm on them. They're very cheap, and they already have some of them already have go again, others do not. The problem that we see again is if it is defended. So the Phantasm mechanic says if it is defended by a attack action with power 6 or greater, destroy it, close the chain. And that, as they say right in the card, if an attack is destroyed, go again does not resolve. So you actually have to have that link fully resolved before you get go again. So it's a little bit of a risky move here because you just don't know if that's actually going to be worth it. So these Phantasm cards are, no whammies, big hits or no hits. And I think that's kind of on the balance. They're probably about half as or twice as powerful. Maybe they'll hit half as often, that sort of thing. So we'll have to wait and see how that is really going to play out. But there's one more little piece of text on here that is rather important, though, and it is Spectra. So that's a new keyword. That's a bolded keyword down there. It says, Ode to Wrath can be attacked. So just like we saw those allies on the dark side, or the shadow side of this set, they could be attacked. These can also be attacked. However, they're a little bit worse because when Ode to Wrath becomes the target of attack, destroy it and close the combat chain. The attack does not resolve. So literally, it is a cool. I'm going to attack that. Oh, it's dead. So there's a positive and a negative to that. One, it does not require you to hit for 6 like you did with the shadow allies. It just has to be attacked. The positive aspect is it essentially shuts down a turn, or it shuts down the rest of their turn because it locks out the turn because they can't have go again anymore. And at this time, there's no instant speed way to gain go again. That isn't a reaction that would not be shut out by this closing because the attack does not resolve. It just goes boop and it's gone. So in that regard, it does kill go again. So it can be quite powerful. Again, it's not like a be all end all because they could just have, if they have go again a couple times, like saying you're playing against Shane or Shanae or Chain, however you want to say it. You have a bunch of go again things. That could just be their last attack, and they could just go boom and just target it with shoot anything, just a 1 power thing, a weapon swing that's doing 1 damage, nothing like Galaxy Black. Oh yeah, she'll just swing for 1, whatever, no big deal. So in that regard, they're actually kind of weak, but the effects can be powerful. So we have 3 from Fabled Hunters. The next one is Merciful Retribution. Again, this is a yellow pitch, 4 cost rare light illusion instant aura. And it says, Whenever an aura or attack action card you control is destroyed, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. If it is a non-token light card, put that in your hero's soul. So that's actually pretty quite powerful, because we've been seeing Bolton with his charge, being able to get things in. There's a lot of things like on hit, boom, put it in your soul. We haven't seen a whole lot of stuff about getting in your soul for Prism. However, these are going to allow you to do that anyway. So whenever an attack aura or attack action card you control is destroyed, it pings them, which is nice. Now what I want to actually, I should stop there. So when you can control is destroyed, what does that mean? Well, that means if Phantasm actually happens and you lose your attack, you're still dealing 1 arcane damage. So it's not like those attacks are now nothing. That's where the positive part of this card comes from in that regard. So they're still gonna, maybe you're paying 1 to swing in for 7 or whatever, one of these, and it gets shot down because you get blocked with something. It's still going to deal 1 damage. So at least you can do that. Then it says if it's a non-token light card, put it in your hero's soul. So that's pretty powerful. So it's essentially, reoccurring things that you're trying to attack with right into the soul. So this is going to be your light attack actions that are like the ones with Phantasm. So basically you're refeeding your system to alter what it's going to do. So if you're starting off with just attacking because you don't have anything to banish into the soul yet, you're starting off with attacking with these Phantasms. This allows it to, boom, maybe I'm not getting my attacks in, but at least I'm getting arcane damages and I'm loading up my soul so I can make spectral shield tokens. So again, has Spectra, so it can also be attacked and destroyed. So it's going to be very hard to see if these cards are really good depending upon how things play out, because these are so fragile. They're literally so fragile. Anything can attack them. Even a 0 power weapon can attack, and it still just goes boop. At least this will allow things like that to have those arcane damage things and then feed the soul, but it's still kind of risky. All right, last one from Fabled Hunters, we have Parable of Humility. So this is, again, a 4-cost, 2-pitch, rare light illusionist instant aura that says attack action cards controlled by opposing heroes have -1 attack while attacking and defending. And then Spectra. This is quite nice, building completely into the illusionist wheelhouse. On a double way, though, because one, while they're defending with 1 less power, so now you're all those big 6 power brute attacks that the shadow brutes are putting in their decks are now 5, so that doesn't trigger Spectra, and they don't really have a way to pump those as far as we can see right now. So in that regard, this is quite a good. I think this one's going to immediately be killed, because again, it makes all of your attacks more likely to actually hit. So that's pretty cool. The problem is, again, that whole Spectra thing. It only takes 1 attack, and it could be a 1 power attack that is now 0, swinging towards Parable of Humility, and then it goes pop and it's gone. So again, very difficult to balance. It's very, very super fragile. This strategy is super fragile. I think I can't really make a huge amount of judgment until we see how these things play out. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be technical, and it's gonna be fun. That's all I can say for right now. I think there's a lot of power here. I think when you play them is going to be very important, and if you can really get a lot of value out of maybe them only lasting a single turn or maybe 2 turns. So I think that's kind of important to think about. So all right, next, Mothership. The Fab TCG website dropped a spoiler called Herald of Ravages. So in Prism's whole story, she's got a whole bunch of heralds that she can bring to bring to light in this particular illusionist sort of thing. This is one of them. So this is actually, no, that's not one of them. This is just what are they called? They're called something else. The arc whatever things are. Maybe this isn't one of them. Anyways, so this is a common light illusionist action attack. 7 power, 3 defense. It's a red version, and it costs 2. My assumption is that the yellow and blue of these will be 6 and 5 power, which is not too shabby. That's a pretty meaty attack there. So this says, if Herald of Ravages hits, put in your hero's soul and deal 1 arcane damage to a hero. That's pretty sweet. So again, I think that we're now starting to see ways to feed Prism's soul, which is very important for this whole thing, because that's kind of like where you want to be. Those are essentially her weapons, those spectral seals. So you need to be at least be able to maybe drop one out in a single turn and be able to swing in with it if that's part of your strategy. And I think that this deck can be highly focused on auras, as we talked about yesterday, or it can be highly focused on trying to get through things with Phantasm. The only issue with Phantasm is you lose your go again if you have it, and that's why you can have this big turn, or you can just get shut down. So that's why I think probably the best way is a middle ground of I'm going to be attacking with my auras, and I'm going to also be attacking after that with my illusionist attacks that are big damage, low cost, possibly go again. So I think, yeah, they're very simple. These cards are very simple. And that's like, I don't have anything else to say. I love the arcane damage. I think it's great. At least you're able to get a little bit more power, just ping things. Like the arcane damage might turn stuff on that we haven't seen just yet. There isn't a lot of arcane barrier in these, especially in limited. Like there's just the spell void stuff, which are not really, that's one time and it's not a lot going on. I think that although this is like cool, like even yesterday's we had like, oh boom, this is a 7 power attack for 2, period, with Phantasm. Yes, simple, but the strategy is going to be complex, and so I'm very interested to see how this all goes. All right, next spoiler is, and we're just going to blow through these because a lot of these are hard to deal with. So we're back to another light illusionist instant here. We have Compet Esports with Genesis. So this is another instant aura as we talked about. 2 pitch, 4 cost, majestic. So same stats as before. It has Spectra, so if it gets attacked, it goes pop. And we have, at the start of your turn, you may put a card from your hand into your hero's soul. If an illusionist card, if it's an illusionist card, create a spectral shield token. If it's a light card, draw a card. So, like, that's actually, I think that, I first looked at this as like, oh, well, whatever, who cares? Like, yeah, you're going to just dump a card in there. No, this is awesome because it's feeding your soul, which is important, but it's replacing itself and making a spectral shield token. So what you're essentially doing is you're taking something that, if it is a light illusionist card, and you're putting it in your soul, you're essentially it's like pitching a certain value to create a spectral shield and draw a card. That's bananas because the spectral shields cost 2 already. There's no way to like how much is that drawing a card or cantripping a card cost when you staple that onto creating a spectral shield? I imagine it would be more than 3. Like I think that would be great because you could sort of go at an infinite rate here. So like if it was a real card, it wouldn't be priced much higher. So this is really quite good. This is what's going to sort of turn that engine on and really start chugging along. I guarantee you this thing's not going to be lasting very long on the board. It's super powerful. People, once they realize what it's actually going to do, it's going to be creating a lot of energy for this deck because not only do they get a spectral shield token from that, they can pitch. They just drew a card. They can pitch to make another spectral shield, or they can attack with things. So it's quite powerful. I think this is definitely going to see play. And it's just, again, this is such a strategy-heavy deck. It's not simple. It's not for the faint. It's not like, and I'm not saying like aggressive decks are always easy to pilot, but in most cases, you want to maximize the times you can attack and the damage you can attack with. This is not really like that. This is a lot more long-term thinking, setting up for stuff in the long game, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to play. But yeah, this is going to be a big engine piece for Prism and all of her weird things that she's going to be getting into. So, all right, next one. We have from Jason Long at Metrics Daily, we have Arclight Sentinel. So another light illusionist instant aura. So just look at that. Just admire the art. Take a gander. I'm going to have a sip. It looks gorgeous. Looks super gorgeous. So this is a majestic. It is a 6 cost yellow pitch aura at instant speed. It is a Prism specialization. And it says it has Spectra, so it goes pop if it gets attacked. But it says, if Arclight Sentinel is in the arena when an opponent announces an attack, they must choose Arclight Sentinel as the target of the attack. So what that sounds like on the whole is, cool, I shut down an attack. But it's more than that, again, because we don't really have a way to go again without having something resolve. It's essentially, cool, you attack me and you end your turn. So what this is going to, and it's like, it doesn't, you kind of have it both ways because your opponent can be like, all right, cool, I know if I'm going to attack, it's just going to shut my turn now, right? Well, all right, cool. So maybe I'll play some non-attack actions or instants or whatever before I attack or anything like that. Then I'll attack just to get it out there. Or they think, all right, well, I'm not going to attack because I don't want to like lose my turn. Well, then they're not doing anything and it's just going to be here the next turn. So it's actually quite powerful. 6 is just so much, although it is sort of like, cool, you're basically telling your opponent like, all right, well, play your non-attack actions and then end your turn, or like discard a card to finish or to remove this from the battlefield, something like that. So it's like pretty brutal on the face of things. I just don't know if 6 is enough because it's essentially 2 cards plus this one card just to get it on the board. So if you say you had something in Arsenal, that's 2 cards and a card from hand or a card from Arsenal, depending upon where the Arclight Sentinel is. So you're down to 2 cards for your turn. I mean, I guess there's a lot of stuff to do at instant speed. Or you have some spectral shield tokens. You can maybe, if you have enough to pitch, and then maybe go in for a phantasm, so you can pitch to attack with your spectral shield and then pitch for a phantasm card. I guess it's really going to require a lot of strategic thinking and a lot of setup to do this kind of stuff. So very expensive, and again, none of these instants block for anything. That's why it's so brutal. Is that yes, they can. These are all going to feed into banishing something from your soul and creating a spectral shield token. That's maybe why they're all yellows, because they can all at least do that. But that's just not very good. It really isn't. So that's the issue. That's the risk here. So we'll have to see how they come out. But they're just weird. I think they're really cool. It's just weird. All right. So our last spoiler for today comes from Combo TCG. It is Yin Tian or Yin Tian. It is a generic attack action. It looks, surprisingly like an Illusionist attack action, actually. So this is a red 1-pitch version. It is a 0 cost, attack for 3, defense for 2. I imagine the yellow and the blue will be attacks for 2 and attacks for 1. And it says, well, Yin Tian is attacking and you control an aura. It has +1, so it comes in for this particular case 4. And then while Yin Tian is defending, if you control an aura, it has +1 defense. So because it's generic, that's not that bad. But essentially, this is not it's generic because other people will have auras. So Guardian is not going to want to play this, but they could, and it would have a benefit there. And I'm sure we'll see other classes with auras coming soon. So it's not like this, like, cool, this is an Illusionist card they decided to call a generic. I mean, yes, that's kind of what it is in this particular set, because it's always going to block for 3. I mean, almost always going to block for 3. And it will probably always attack for 4. Again, this red case. Because you can use what's-her-name thing at instant speed, it does have an ability to actually do that at instant speed and get that buff if you don't have anything else. So it's pretty interesting. But it's basically an Illusionist card. Anyway, that was all the cards for today. A little bit of a shorter version of this, because it was really just a lot of similar cards. We got a lot from one source. There wasn't a lot of real thing. And again, we kind of have to reserve judgment for when we see and be able to play with these, because I don't think I can really just say off the bat, boom, yeah, these are going to be great. I think that they're going to have their place. I don't know if you're going to be playing full play sets, and I don't know how reliably they will go off, but that's kind of how this whole character is. I mean, the Phantasm, the Spectra, everything is so fragile that you have to be very, very important, or very, very carefully taking the time to make sure you're making the right moves. So it's going to be a very skill-intense character. And I'm not saying others aren't, but this one seems extraordinarily so. And actually, some of the others from this set, like Chain, also seems pretty technically... You have to be technically good at playing, just because you have to know how to sequence things. Oh man, can I handle another Soul Shackle? Is that going to push me over the edge? You don't really know. You can't get rid of those things, that sort of stuff. So, yeah. All right, well, that is all for the Pints and Previews for Monarch Day 12. Thank you so much for watching. Again, keep your eyes peeled here for the rest of the spoiler videos that are going to be coming out. We got stuff all next week as well. That is our final week, so we're going to be coming in probably to generics coming up on Monday. Hopefully we'll get some cool stuff. I think there's got to still be a legendary piece of equipment coming out for the Illusionist, so we'll still have some excitement stuff over the weekend, but Monday we're probably going to go to generics, which I think is just as exciting, because it can feed your heroes that you're loving to play right now. I'm playing mech right now. It's okay. I don't think we're going to see much mech stuff there, really, but you never know. So, all in all, a very good set of spoilers so far. I'm super excited about this site, and I can't wait to play. So, that is all for the spoilers. So, this is Tap for Brew Tap Cast saying thank you so much for watching the video. We thank you, and we will talk to you soon. Cheers.